Hey cycling community, this is Steve Grusis, the Cycling Greek. Between the weekend before Christmas all the way through New Year's Day, I have a 10-day block that I call the X block. I'm going to see how many of those days I can ride with quality and purpose. Day one of the X block that you're seeing on the screen right now was a group ride. Had a lot of climbing in it. And I had a tough time keeping up with the climbers. Now these guys cannot climb me, but I was fatiguing early and I don't know why. So as I'm riding by myself to meet those guys up at the top, I'm going through the usual thoughts. I'm getting too old, I can't race anymore, I was sick recently, all various excuses. And then I thought of what it could have been. Weightlifting. Now, I don't do any leg work in the gym anymore because the season's coming on, but there's things that I'm doing in the gym that affect my legs. And one of those items, and the main item that's causing the problem, I believe, is this work I'm doing recently to work on a limiter that I have. A limiter is an area of your body that's not as strong as the rest of your body in terms of what the balance should be. I tend to work on my limiters a little more so I can bring myself up to balance. And one of those limiters are my lower back. We'll use this as an Olympic bar. So one of the items that I've been starting to do recently are bent over rows. One of the sets that I do will be with my hands over the bars and I'm like this, which is the key to the problem that I'm having, and pulling up like this. And so I'll do a few sets of those and then underhand. Work a different part of the body. Bring it up high, elbows back, and I'll do 4 sets of those, 4 sets, 8 or so. Now the problem is, when I'm bent like this, I'm doing the exercise correctly, but there's a lot of pressure put on my hamstring, it's working hamstrings, and it's working the quads and working the glutes. So I don't think about it at the time, but when I'm doing the ride the next day, with a lot of climbing, my body's fatiguing early because of that. So keep in mind for what you're doing, if you're having a bad day on the bike, it may have been something you've done the day before that wasn't bike related. I'm not going to stop doing these. Well, I may have to stop doing them. I may have to adjust to something else, but what I'm going to do is experiment first and work with the timing. I'm not going to do these the day before a key ride. I may not do them 2 days before a key ride. So we'll see how everything works. Hope you found this helpful. Stay tuned for days 2 through 10. And remember, comment, like, subscribe. The Cycling Greek.